This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi, hello, good morning, everyone. So today I'll tell you the installation also, but before going into the installation, so as I've told you, we will be talking about the data used. Okay, so but before that, so for 5 or 6 days, so this definition of the program should be going on. Okay, why? Because it is the essence of your programming. Okay, so that is why again I'll try to go for the understanding of it. So today we will look at the data and Python installation. Okay, so what are the topics that we are going to look at today? Data and Python installation. Because once you understand the data, now you are ready to write the programs. You are ready to write the program. But in order to run the programs, we need Python, right? So I'll show you Python installation also, and I'll show you the basic software where we can run the program. Okay, so basic software. Then I'll show you Python specific software. Then I'll show you the Visual Studio, which I will be not showing you today. I'll be showing you maybe tomorrow. Okay, so first we will see Python specific codes, Python specific softwares. Then we will see universal software like Visual Studio. So Visual Studio, you can do Python, you can do HTML, you can do everything you can do. Okay, so today, as I've told you, we will talk about the data. But before going to the data, what is always important? The program definition, because throughout your career you are going to work with programs. You're going to work with what? Programs. So whenever I am saying program, so what is program? Program is set of instructions along with the data. So this definition should be there in your mind forever. Okay, so that is why I'm trying to inject that into your minds. Okay, so what is a program? A set of instructions along with the data. So set of instructions along with the data, considered as what? Considered as input that are to be processed to give the output so what is the basic idea here? The basic idea is always to take the inputs. Always is to take the inputs. So what you have to do now? You have to take the input. So what are the inputs that will contain? We will contain instructions along with the data. Instructions along with the data. Okay. So for your understanding, I'll write instructions and the data. Instructions and the data. So once the instructions and the data are ready, what is the next thing that you will do? You will do the processing. You will do the processing, and then after processing, what you do? You will get the output. You will get the output. Is my point clear? So input is nothing but the combination. Input is nothing but the combination of instructions and the data. So sometimes instructions will be clear. Sometimes instructions you have to understand from the program requirement. You have to understand from the program requirement. Getting my point? So once you get the inputs, the next thing that you have to do is you have to process. So how you are processing? You are processing by applying logic. How you are processing? You are processing by applying the logic. So initially the logics will be very very small, but slowly moving forward, you will expect more and more logics, more and more logic. So 90% of our job in the real time also, when you go into the industry also, 90% of your job is logic only. Input anyhow you can give, so it is understandable for everyone. Output just display, that also is easy. So that is only 5% and 5% for, so that is only 5% and 5%. And output, yeah, I mean processing is going to be how much percent? Processing is going to be a 90% of your job. Okay, so 90% of your job is what? Application of the logic, and 5% is what? Getting the output or displaying the output or printing the output, right? And 5% is input. Okay, I'll just give you again a real time example. So now one simple real time example. So taking into view the full stack programming. So what you're doing basically, you are working with full stack. So whenever you say full stack, What do you mean by full stack exactly? In simple words, full stack is nothing but applying front end and back end. Simple application of front end and back end. Front end and back end. So front end, what you see. Back end, what gets operated. Getting my point? So front end, back end. So if you are working with front end technologies and the back end technologies, okay, and the frameworks, front end technologies, back end technologies, and the frameworks, you are a full stack developer. You are a full stack developer. Getting my point or not? So when you are working with front end as well as back end, if you are an expert in both of them, you are a full stack developer. The main advantage of full stack course, what is, so main advantage is you can apply as a front end developer, you can apply as a back end developer also, so you are eligible for all kind of positions, right? If they are expecting full stack, that is okay. If they are expecting only front end, you are there. If they are expecting only back end, you are there. Yes or no? So getting my point. So that is what is the advantage. Okay, in that view I will give you a simple example. Okay, so this is an example which every one of us has done in our lives. Checking the results. So what is the use case here? The use case is, what is use case? No, what is use case? No, what is the definition of a use case? Use case is a question or a problem, okay, or a task on hand. Getting my point? Use case. So we'll use some real-time terms. So in real-time terms also, use case is given to you. Client gives a use case. Okay, our project is a combination of use cases. So this kind of terminology we will develop in ourselves. Yes or no? So use case. So what is the use case? Use case is checking the results. What is the use case, sir? Checking the result. Now tell me, as a student, what will you do? So let's say this is student. This is student. What do you do as a student? You open a website or a web app. Normally, phone you open a web app or a website. What do you do? You will get an interface. You'll get an interface. Okay, so this we call it as UI. What is UI? UI is nothing but user interface. What technologies we will use, I'll come back later. Hall ticket number, you are looking at hall ticket number. So student opened a web app or opened a website, he is seeing a hall ticket number. Okay, he's seeing a hall ticket number, he will type his hall ticket number, something like this. Yes. Okay, now when you type your hall ticket number, remember, a request goes to the server. Where the request will go? The request goes to the server. The request will go to the server. Where the request will go, sir? The request will go to the server. So server is technical point here. So what is technically this is called, sir? Technically this is called client. Client means not a company or anything. Client means what is giving a request. Server means who is taking the request. Client means who is giving a request. Server means who is taking the request. Hope my point is clear. So we are talking, once again, I'll remind you what we are talking about. The use case, checking of the result by a student, checking of the result by a student, which is depicting the total full stack development, which is depicting the total full stack development. So then I'll tell you what are the roles and responsibilities of a full stack developer. First, understand this. Student logged in to a web page or a website or a web app, okay, on phone, on computer, on desktop, on tab, whatever may be the medium is not a matter here. What is the matter? You are requesting. So what, when you request, what you are a client. You are a client. So whom you are requesting to? You are requesting a server. What you are requesting? You are requesting your result. What input you gave? You gave your hall ticket number. Input is hall ticket number. Now what is the instruction and the data? Tell me here. Again, everything in terms of IPO only we will talk about. Who is I? Okay. So input contains what? Instruction and the data. What is this 45678? Data. What is the instruction? You go to the server and get me the result. I told you every time instruction will not be clear. Instruction will not be clear. So what is there? Data will be very clear. Data will be very clear. So you are giving the data. So the data is getting to the server. And what server will do? What are the server responsibilities? Server will take request. What server will do, sir? Server will take the request. Server will process the request. What server will do? Process the request. What server will do? Give the response. Give the response. Okay, sir. Now, what technologies I have to use there, sir? So, you have to use technologies and programs. Technologies and programs. Something like Python, something like Java, yes or no? So Python or Java technologies will be there. So for example, in Python you have something like Django. What do you have? Django. So Django will be responsible for taking that request. So your Python people, so Django. For example, Java people are there, so they will talk about something like Spring Boot, Hibernate. Of course, you don't have to worry about this. Okay, I'm commonly telling you. Yes. So in Python, we will be going for building Django. So Django is a framework. Django is a framework which will contain this server, which will contain this container basically. Which will have the container, which will have all the information related to the request. Related to the request. So it may take help of the database. It may take help of the database. Yes or no? It will take the help of what? Database. So databases are again two types: structural databases and non-structural databases. Okay. So you have Oracle, you have MySQL. So these are structural. Now you have something like MongoDB. Have you ever heard about MongoDB, SQLite 3? Okay, SQLite 3 is specific to Django. So these are non-structural database. I'll tell you what is non-structural, what kind of data is available in the non-structural databases. I'll tell you later. Okay. So for now, server is taking the request. Server has to process the request. Processing the request means what? The entire data will be in the database. So entire data will be in the database. So it has to fetch the data from the database. Processing means what? Going to the database, connecting with the database, and fetching the data. Fetching the data of what? Fetching the data of this particular hall ticket number. Fetch the data, give back the response. Give back the response. Now user interface, Python, Django and all. Now to understand SDB, what you require? You require SQL. So here in full stack, what are the things that you are learning? I told you in the demo. What are the things that you are learning? Python you are learning UI technologies and you are learning SQL. So this is the whole full stack application. What technologies? UI technologies, Python technologies and frameworks, and database technologies that you are going to learn. So, as a full stack developer. So, when you are a full stack developer, so what are we learning, sir? At the end of the day, you are learning how to create the user interfaces. How to create the user interfaces. User interfaces means that forms, tables, etc., etc. So what response you will get? You will get the response in the form of a table. Table on, name, all ticket number, marks, subject one, subject two, subject three. Yes or no? So that is nothing but a user interface again. So that also has to be created using a user interface, which is nothing but HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React JS, and all those stuff. Yes. So you are going to create the user interfaces. You are going to create the Python programs or Java programs depending on what course you take. So Django you will be working with, and you will be working with the SQL also. So SQL for data storage, data retrieval, right? Data updations and all that. Is this clear now? So what are you talking about? You talk about creating client services, server services, and database services. So what you have to design, what you have to work with as a full stack developer: client services, server services, and database services. Client services can be built by using what? UI. User interface. UI technologies are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React JS, right? Complete front end package. Yes. Okay. Coming to the back end, Python programs, Django programs. So people who are learning MERN stack, they will have Node.js, they'll have Express.js. Okay. So people who are learning Java, they'll have Spring Boot, Hibernate, these kind of frameworks. Yes. So depending on different courses, the backend may change, but the UI will be same. UI will be same. So that is why I'm telling you. After going to the company, you may not be a Python developer. You may be a MERN developer. In MERN, what you have to learn? Mongo, Express, Node. They'll give training, no problem. So it's not that every time whatever you learn, you go and do there. But once you learn something, what will happen? You will get the idea. Yes, this is the architecture. This is what we have to do. Yes or no? Get my point or not? But one thing you are learning means everything will be easy. I told you yesterday. Is this crystal clear? Yes. So what a full stack developer roles and responsibilities you understood? You have to build the client services, you have to build the server services, and you have to build the SQL services or the database services. Yes. So initially we are starting with the Python, core Python. Okay. So then we will go for UI or SQL. Parallelly we will. So initially we will be learning Python because it is programming. No? So programming we start with means it will be good for us. Is this clear? Okay, now tell me what is the first thing that you have to know about? The first thing you always have to know about is data. Yes or no? So whenever I'm talking about data in programming, so whenever I'm talking about data in programming, always remember the data can be put into four types. Okay, so whole data of programs I can put into four types. One, numeric data. What is the first one? Numeric data. Second one, character data. Next one is what? Character data. Next one is boolean data. What is the next one? Boolean data. Next one is null data, null or nothing. Okay, so null data. Null means nothing. Yes, null means nothing. So how you represent numeric data? Nothing is also very important actually. Okay, so you know the importance later. For now we will understand numeric data. Numeric means what? Numbers. Numeric means what? Numbers. So whenever I'm talking about numbers, so I generally speak about two types of numbers. Generally I speak about two types of numbers. So first one is integers. First one is what? Integers. I speak about two types of numbers. First one is integers. Integers means 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, and so on. So if you just remember a number line, if you just remember a number line, what I'm saying here, I'm saying plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and 0 also. Now you just typed your altogether number. What are they? Numbers. Altogether number it is. Number means it is a integer. It is a integer basically. Yes or no? So now it can be your Aadhaar number, it can be your phone number. All these are what? All these are integers. All these are integers. Is my point clear? Yes or no? So integers, and then you have float or fractional point numbers. So you can simply say float point. Float point means what, sir? 0.36, 9.87. Okay, so 99.63 averages, percentages, percentiles. So all these things, age. So what is your age means? You will say 19 years, 12, I mean 11 months, 19.11, so something like that. So measurements, degrees in the sense, sun temperatures, all these kind of things. So all these come under what? Float point number. So to tell you in simple words, the numbers with decimal the numbers with the decimal point, the numbers without decimal point. Numbers without decimal point are called what? Integers. The number with the decimal point are called what? Float point numbers. Is this clear? Okay. Now coming to the character data. When you come to the character data, it is all about the basic character set. So what do you mean by the basic character set, sir? Basic character set means capital A to Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9, and all the symbols that you have. And all the symbols that you have. Am I clear? So now what is this character, sir? Then suppose if you are saying A is a character. Suppose you are saying 3, 3 is a character. Sir, here you said it is an integer. Now you are saying character. If you put them under the quotes, that will become a character. That will become a character, single character. Even space. So space is also a character. Space is also a character. Is that clear? Yes or no? Okay. So now other representation of character data is in double quotes. In Python, you have additionally other things. I'll tell you later. So now, for example, if I'm saying Python, if I'm saying Java, what are all this? All these are collection of characters. All these are what? Collection of characters. Single character can be there. Collection of characters can be there. So in Python, paragraphs also can be written. Okay, so I'll tell you later. Understood now? So this is character data. Now coming to the Boolean data. Boolean data. So whenever I'm talking about Boolean, Boolean means basically only two values, true or false. Only two values. What are they? True or false. So if it is true, is it false? Is this bottle empty? Yes or no? That's it. Sir, it has only pow liter water, nothing like that. Yes or no? That's it. Today we have class or not? Yes or no? So that yes or no can be represented as true or false. So generally, we call it as flag based values. What we call it as flag based values. Flag. Flag means either up or down. So there is no middle state or something like that. Is this clear? So whole computers runs on only two things. What are they? 0 and 1. You know that? The computers works on only two things. What are they? Zeros and ones. So you might give any big thing. You might write a 500, 600 line code also. It will convert that into zeros and ones only. Yes, binary. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So I'll not try to bore you. Okay, Boolean data means what? True or false. True. True means it is not false. False means it is not true. That's it. Only remember in this way. True or false. Numeric data we can have many. Character data we can have many. But Boolean data we have only two. What are they? True or false. Sir, true. You said Python, Java, or this, no. So can I put TRUE in quotes? No. If you put TRUE in quotes, what will happen? It will become a character data. So you cannot, I mean, you are not entitled to put. If you put that, what will happen, sir? It will become a character data. Yes or no? So if you put that, it will become a character based data. Never put that. Use it plain. Yes. Is it clear? Boolean data. and finally null data. So here, different programming languages have different approach to this. Now, for example, in Python, we will have none. What will have in Python? None. None means what? Nothing. None means nothing. So there is none on this chair, nothing on this chair. Like that. None. None means nothing. Only one value. None, nothing. So Java will use null, right? So different languages use different kind of things for that, right? So out and out in Python programming, so these four types of data will be there. Okay. Now the question that comes here is, sir, we have date field, no? So we have date. Okay. So now, for example, if I write today's date, maximum how I will write 05072024. Now, what is 0 and 5? Numeric data. What is this? Character. Okay. So now somebody will write 05 July 2024. What is July now? Character data. Getting my point? Or string, you can say, no problem. So everything at the end comes to this only. At the end comes to this only. So that is why this is basic. Now, for example, how many numbers you know in this world? You will say 10. How many numbers you know in this world? You will say 10. Why, sir? Zero. If you know 0 to 9, you know every number in this world. Common sense. Yes or no? So 0 to 9, if you know all the numbers in this world, because all the numbers are the combinations of 0 to 9 only. Is there any number out of this combination positive or negative? Every number will be from this combination only. So all the data in programming will be from this combination only. Yes, I'm not talking about only Python. So only Python, if you say TRUEFALSENONE. For example, you go to Java. So in Java, we'll say this as null, this is TRUE, and this is false. Suppose if you are going to C programming, so this TRUEFALSE is not there in C programming. So we generally call them as 0 or 1. Getting my point? So in that way, programming languages will change, but the terminology will be the same. The syntaxes, the way that we use the data will be different, but the terminology will remain the same, right? So you take any data, so in the future you are having collection of ages. Let's say I want to take all of your ages. Now what I will do, I will just put like say 20, 19, 18. Maybe you are in this range only, right? So maximum 20, 21. Okay. So collection of all the ages. Collection. Now what is 20? Integer, numeric. What is 19? What are all this? Now if I have all your names, collection of characters, all your date of births, that is also again numbers only. So whatever data you use in computers will come, or in Python program, let's say, will come from these things only. Yes. Am I crystal clear? Now we have the data in hand. Can I say that? Can I say that we have the data in hand? So we have the data. How to represent it? How to put that in Python program? That we will learn later. Not a problem. Yes. So initially we will use only numbers because they are very easy to use. Yes or no? Okay. Now it's time to write our second program. What we are going to write? Why, sir, you are saying second program? We already wrote the first program. What was our first program? What was our first program? Paycheck. So what was our first program, sir? Our first program was releasing a paycheck to our employee. So what our client said us. So client said us, hey boss. Okay. So for the people who joined today itself, so we will write the program once again. What is the use case? What is the use case? Uh, so payment to the employee. Payment to the employee based on the number of hours worked. Based on the number of hours worked. Got my point? So that is a use case. Now client told me you prepare a simple app. You prepare a simple app for doing this. For now we are using CUI programming. Okay, so let me tell you, in programming there are CUI based programs and GUI based programs. CUI based program means character user interface. Character user interface. GUI based programs means your calculator. Calculator. What is calculator? You have the buttons. When you click the buttons, you will get some numbers. So that is GUI based programs. So we will create GUI based programs also. Once your core Python is finished, we will convert all your core Python programs into GUI based programs. So that is where I told you I will make you create the apps. Yes, I'll make you create the apps. Each program can be converted into a app. So like that you will be here after the core Python, you will be ready with your apps. Almost 30 to 40 apps you can create by your own. I'll tell you 5 or 10. You can create 30 to 40 apps on your own, only on core Python. Only on core Python, not even advanced Python. Okay, so once your core and advanced Python are done, we will create app based on the database and all. Yes, so we are going to do that. So we are going to do the things in a very great way. Okay, so you rest assured. So use case. What is use case? The problem that we have to do. So what is the problem here? Payment to the employee based on the number of hours worked. So from this, what you have to do? You have to design the program. What is the first step? Okay, we'll follow the steps. So steps of programming. Okay, design the program. What is designing the program again? First step is understand the task. Understand the task to perform. So design the program. So in short, what we can say, understand the task of the use case. Understand the task of the use case. What is the task, sir? Task is nothing but take the, okay, I'll write with pen. So what is the task? Take inputs. What are the inputs taken to be taken? What are the input to be taken? Number of hours, payment per hour. Number of hours, payment per hour. So yesterday you wrote A and all. I can write anything. I can write anything. For example, your teacher is asking you to find the area of a rectangle. Some people will write L is equal to 35, B is equal to 25. Okay, A is equal to L into B. Some people will write length is equal to 35. Okay, so breadth is equal to 27. Yes, some people will write LEN is equal. It's our wish. So you can use in any way. You can portray the data in any way what you want. But there are some rules that we will talk about later. Okay, so many things we have to cover. So NH is equal to number of hours. Let's say he worked for 8 hours. So payment is how many? 550 something. Take the inputs. Next step. Take the inputs over. What is the next thing? Processing. Right? Process the inputs. What do you mean by processing, sir? Put the logic. What is the logic, sir? Payment is equal to number of hours into payment hours. Now generate the output. Generate result. Generate result means what? You have to generate PT. What is PT? The payment. Now what is the second step, sir? Write the code. Once your design is perfect, writing the code is just a task of, what do you say, critical task we say, no, that way. Okay, so write the code. So what we are doing, sir, here we are writing the code. So writing the code means pick your program. So now you are here for Python program. So if you are Java, designing will be same. So in Java, the pattern may be different. In Python, pattern may be different. The syntax may be different. Okay. So how you are writing now? NH is equal to 8. PH is equal to 550. Okay. PT is equal to NH into PH. NH into PH. Okay. Then print. So print of PT. Yes. Now we wrote this in a notepad. But in a notepad, can you go for the next step? What is the next step? Check for the syntax errors. Can you go to the next step here in the notepad? No. Now we require a software. Yes. Now it's time to install the software. So next topic is installing Python. See, there are many ways of installation, many styles of installation. Directly, you can use a tool and write the programs. But I always try to make you go in a way that everyone will follow generally. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to open a website called python.org. You can start. You can start along with me. Python.org. 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 So what is the website? Python.org. So this is a website. I'll put the link if at all. If you can do it right now, you can. Later on, so you can do it. No problem. Welcome to Python.org. Just put your cursor on the downloads. Downloads tab. Put your cursor on the downloads tab like this. Now, Wi-Fi password also, I also don't know actually. You can give your hotspot for a few minutes. Then later on you can take. I don't remember actually. Long back I have. Okay. So now what is the website, sir? It will take hardly MB max. I know how important is internet for you, but okay.
So what is the website?
Python.org. Python.org. So I'll put everything in the notes also. You can do it after going home also. Python.org. So tomorrow we are going to write 10 programs. Get ready. 10 programs. Not even Python started, sir. You are making us write 10 programs. That is the beauty of Python. Okay, so we are going to write 10 programs tomorrow. Get ready. So install first. So downloads ready? Yes. So once your downloads is ready, so you can click on this Python. What is the latest version? Python 3.12 actually. What is the latest version, sir? Python 3.12.4. Until your course is over, it might be 3.13 also. So if you are working on Mac, okay, I think I see Mac here. So if you are working on Mac, you can go to Mac. So Mac, you can just go for the latest release. This universal installer is there, no? You can go for that. Either the Mac, na? Okay, you can go for that. Okay, right. You can just click on this. You will get the download. Very rarely we get Mac systems in the class. Okay, so download అయిన తర్వాత once the download is over, you can just click on that file. Okay, anyhow, I'll update. Okay, so I'm upgrading. మీకు ఇన్స్టాల్ అని వస్తుంది, నాకు అప్గ్రేడ్ అని వచ్చింది. Because I have already 3.121 ఏదో ఉంది. Maybe it will upgrade. మీకు ఇన్స్టాల్ అని వస్తుందమ్మా. Okay, so after going home you can do. రాలేదా? It will take 2 minutes of time. Okay, ఇన్స్టలేషన్ ఓవర్. మ్యాక్ అయిందమ్మా. ఓ వెనకాల కూడా మ్యాకేనా? ఓ సో మెనీ పీపుల్ ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ మ్యాక్. గుడ్. యు ఆర్ కంఫర్టబుల్ యూజింగ్ మ్యాక్? చాలా ఫాస్ట్ ఉంటుంది. అవ్వట్లేదా? పైచామ్ అవసరం లేదు, విజువల్ స్టూడియో ఉంటే సరిపోతుంది. విజువల్ స్టూడియో ఉంటే సరిపోతుంది, పైచామ్ అవసరం ఉంటే బెటరే. విజువల్ స్టూడియో ఈజ్ లైక్ యూనివర్సల్, సో అన్నీ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, సో వన్స్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఓవర్, జస్ట్ స్టార్ట్లోకి వెళ్ళి ఐడిఎల్ఈ అని టైప్ చేయండి. స్టార్ట్లోకి వెళ్ళి ఐడిఎల్ఈ. ఓకే, ఇఫ్ ఐడిఎల్ఈ is not coming, you can go for Python. Okay, let the installation be over. Okay, so setup was successful. I think it is disabled. Ideally వస్తుందమ్మా అందరికి. ఓకే, నా దాంట్లో డిజేబుల్ అయినట్టు. ఇలా వచ్చింటుంది అందరికీ. చూడండి, నా దాంట్లో ఐడియల్లీ పోయినట్టుంది, పర్లేదు. సో ఇలా వస్తుంది అందరికీ ఐడియల్లీ అనగానే. సో యూ విల్ గెట్ ఎ విండో, రైట్? ఎవ్రీవన్ గాట్ లైక్ దిస్? Yes. Okay, now we will type the program. VH is equal, sorry, NH, no? Number of hours is equal to 8. Okay, this is traditional. Okay, so I'll show you the other ways also. NH8 tarvata NP, right? Okay, So pH is equal to 550. Then pt is equal to what I'll say, nh into pH, right? And then I will use print of pt. Now did you get the answer? Yes, everyone got this answer? What we have done, sir? We have developed a code. We have developed a code, right? Okay. Sir, is this the right way to develop the code? The answer is no. Why, sir? Why you are saying that we got the output? No. Now, this is okay for this kind of programs. Okay, just to demonstrate it is okay. But if I ask you to do a 15 line code, 20 line code, then it will be difficult. Point number one. Point number two. Now, for example, I closed this. Okay. So I closed this. Then again, I will open the command prompt. Okay. I'm opening command prompt. You can open ideally. Then I'll say Python again. Now, where is my previous program? Gone. Yes or no? Where is my previous program? It is gone. Now, what I can do, sir, here. So I have to store this in a file. I have to store my program in a file. Getting my point? So what I can do, I can store that program in a file. Okay. So in which file we generally store the code, sir? We store the Python code in a .py file. In which file? .py file. Yes. In which file we have to store? .py file. .py. .py for Python. Now open a simple notepad. Okay. Open a notepad. Right. So now the same program you type. Okay. So whatever I have shown you. Okay. Same program you can simply type. Right. Same program you simply type. So keep everything to the left. Okay. If you are facing any issues with program development, come to me. I'll tell you. So now how to save this? Save as. Okay. So always remember, keep a folder. Always keep a folder. Now, for example, Python 11 a.m. I am having all your files in this folder. I will create a new folder and I will name this as programs. Okay. So then I will name this as paycheck, paycheck program, paycheck.py. So programming, program names kuda chala important. So generally people say 1, 2, 3. Lekapothe, for example, Dinesh, Dinesh 1, Dinesh 2. Is not a good way. So what is this program for? This program is for paycheck. Paycheck.py. Save it. Right? Clear now? Yes or no? Okay. Now this is code. This code is saved. This code is saved. Once the code is saved, right? We need to execute that code. What we need to do? Execute that code. So how to execute? Now go to the folder. Go to the folder. రైట్ సో మీరు ఐడియల్లో అయితే ఇంత కష్టపడాల్సిన అవసరం కూడా ఉండదు డైరెక్ట్గా అక్కడ సేవ్ చేసేసి రన్ చేస్తే రన్ అయిపోతుంది అక్కడ రన్ అని వస్తుంది మీకు పైన అక్కడ రన్ అనండి రన్ అయిపోతుంది ఓకే సో ఐ జస్ట్ షో హౌ ఐ కెన్ రన్ దిస్ హియర్ I can go to the command prompt again. Okay, so I'll just show you how to do it. ఇదంతా అవసరం లేదు ఎందుకంటే మీ దాంట్లో ఐడియల్ వస్తుంటుంది సో హియర్ okay I will say Python. What is my program name? paycheck.py. Now you got 4,400. You got the output? Yes or no? So what is that we are doing, sir? Here we are running the code. Now code లో ఏమైనా ఎర్రర్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, for example, in that code, what we are talking about, so in that code, for example, I have some kind of errors. Let's say something like 8 is equal to nh. Okay, so you save this and this. Now what it is saying? What is saying? Syntax error. Why syntax error? Why it is saying syntax error? Because you are not following the rules. You are not following the rules. Now you understood? Yes or no? Okay. Steps you understood now. What is the first step? First step, designing the program, writing the code, check for the syntax errors, test the code. Test చేసాం 4400 వచ్చింది. Manual calculation order 4400. If they are matching, okay, we are satisfied. అర్థమైందా? So tomorrow we are going to work with at least 10 programs, simple programs, so that you get habituated to the software. Okay, so that your weekend will be full of fun. లేదు అంటే రాలేదు ప్రోగ్రామ్, నాకు అది రాలేదు ఇది రాలేదు అని టెన్షన్ ఉంటుంది. సో టుమారో వీ విల్ వర్క్ విత్ అట్లీస్ట్ 10 సింపుల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్. ఓకే, సో మీన్ వైల్ మీరు ఏం చేయాలి? ఎవ్రీ వన్ హ్యావ్ టు ఇన్స్టాల్. ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది నన్ను అడగండి, నో ప్రాబ్లం, ఐ విల్. ఓకే, రైట్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.